Hello friend, I want to tell you about the car Skoda Fabia. Operation, opinions and faults. This model did not struggle with many faults, and the only really serious faults were the petrol engines 1.2 and 1.4 MPI, 16V. In the first, completely not recommended, the timing chain stretches and there are faults in the electrical system, especially the ignition system. The engine is too weak for the car. A better choice is 1.48 volts, which burns just as much but drives pleasantly. The 1.4 16 volts is even better, but its problem in the first years was the clogged, freezing vent which caused problems in the lubrication system. Some engines may consume oil because of this. A more modern design is the 1.4 16V engine with 101 HP and better dynamics. It does not cause any major problems, although its ignition system can be capricious. The most trusty unit is the 2-liter 8-valve, which can burn 9L 100 kilometers, but the dynamics are good and the durability is simply gigantic. Old petrol engines tolerate driving on LPG well. There are no bad diesels, although occasionally it happens that the 1.4 TDI catches axial play on the shaft. This is a fault that can be driven with, and even should be, because repair does not make sense. This engine, related to the 1.9 TDI, only 3-cylinder, is a donkey that does not sin with work culture but pleases with low fuel consumption. Its opposite is the 1.9 TDI with good dynamics and slightly worse fuel consumption. No bad versions of it were installed in the Fabia. The range of diesel engines is closed by the weakest 1.9 SDI, an outdated, weak but armored engine, at least in theory, because massive neglect of these engines, which stereotypically do not need to be done, surprisingly, often leads to their destruction. Those who take care of it will travel 1,000,000 kilometers with this engine. The uncomplicated equipment and simple mechanics of the car mean that to this day the Fabia I is synonymous with simplicity and low failure rate. It is also a durable car and resistant to neglect. However, it is not resistant to corrosion, which already strongly affects unmaintained and ungaraged models. Excellent access to parts, including bodywork, allows you to refresh the Fabia endlessly and drive for decades. Typical faults in Skoda Fabia I: corrosion, ignition system failures in 1.2 MPI HTP engines, high oil consumption in the 1.4 MPI engine, wear of 1.4 TDI and 1.9 SDI engines, lack of maintenance, fleet use in the early period of operation, cracking interior materials, age. What to look for: cars that have never been in fleets, what to avoid, diesels with a fleet history and 1.2 petrol versions. Thanks for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and rate my video. If you know any problems with this car that I didn't mention, be sure to write about them in the comments.